Yeah, you need to come clean.
Uh,
The boy at home, my little son out there, who is growing up steadily. I live in Uyenga, Kampala. As I said, I work with the Uganda Society. My passion in various aspects, apart from practicing law, is in public speaking and civic discourse. Yeah, I do some work away from the Uganda Society litigation. I host functions. I am an MC for both social functions and corporate gatherings and conferences. It has been something that I've grown into appreciating over time. And when I am away from that as well, I am a public speaking coach and facilitator. We usually mentor young professionals, students in communication, leadership, and advocacy. Beyond that, I also serve community in respect to giving back. I am a Rotarian and currently the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Chadwell Rugby. President-elect, I mean by July 1st, we shall be presidents. Our district governor was sworn in April on the 17th. So I am the president of Chadwell Rugby, the Rotary Club of Chadwell Rugby, in which our primary objective away from giving back to society is to advance the sport of rugby in Rotary, while fused together. Also beyond that, I serve as the treasurer of the Buffaloes Rugby Club.
okay.
Yes, I double as the treasurer of the Buffaloes Rugby Club, which participates in the Uganda Rugby Premiership, which also, of course, reflects on my commitment to youth empowerment, sports leadership, and community development. In that, we have managed to skew a little further away from academics and sports. I'm interested in climate justice law, in which I participate or am an ED of Climate Justice Initiative, a platform dedicated to advancing environmental awareness, sustainable governance, and climate advocacy. That said, we are also interested in what we do. As my wife and myself, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. I plant so many crops, and a manufacturer interested in adding value to various crops to lead to the manufacture of products like cooking oil and maize flour. Those are some of the things that we do away from here. So yes, it's quite a big and broad definition of who I am, but in summary, that is who I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think you're not muted. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Robert. Ambrose, if you can tell us the same question. This man here is a man of all seasons. You've heard he does football, he does rugby, he does marriage, he does agriculture, he does international diplomatic relations, he litigates in court every day, he's in Rotary, he's also a treasurer. He has time to keep people's money, as you can see. He's. Well, what about you? What are the things that make your heart beat?
And I must admit, it's not the easiest thing to prepare a half pager after someone has presented.
You have to unmute?
CV.
Unmute.
I have.
Okay.
I have. But nonetheless, I run my race. Yeah, so personally, I'm a lawyer. I mean, every one of us is here. I am a lawyer that I think if someone asks you who you are, normally you're defined by the things you love. And I have 3 major loves.
Uh-huh.
One is God,
Okay.
2, the law, and 3, sport. For clarity and for avoidance of doubt, I'm unmarried, and that's why no woman appears on that list. Maybe in no time,
But after listening to you
the
today,
list will increase
shall
to
increase
4.
the
Yeah,
list.
yeah. So, so when we discuss God, I mean, everyone knows what God is, who God is, and how we can't be without Him. So I will not really take an entire time to discuss the Lord, because I believe that everyone, it's a love that came over time, but it's something I got to love at some point. I used to love Insolvency so much. I still do. But when I joined the work world, I've done a lot of litigation. I read quite early on that to become good at anything, you must develop a love for it. So, because it brings food on my table, I have to love it. Some days are not good, some days are good, but nonetheless, we wake up every day to love the thing that feeds us, the thing that can bring about so much change in people's lives. The last of my loves is sport. Sport. For me, it's been my saving grace in very many aspects. I don't think I would be where I am without sport. I think probably I would be somewhere in a rehab or something, because for me, growing up, it was either sport or taking the wrong route. And fortunately for me, I took the route of sport, and that's how I managed to be here. So if anyone asks me what really defines me, it's those 3 things. Yeah.
So, what defines you? The law, the Lord, the law, and sport. Straightforward. Now, Mr. Mujira, sir. Mr. Mujira is also known as a man of the Lord. I don't know if he's a man of the Lord. I'm sure he is. But he's also known as Tsunami. I'm sorry if I've told secrets. You know, I see you on WhatsApp groups under the pseudonym Tsunami, and you like taking tsunamis to guys who are on the group. So, what is it about you that makes you tick? We have heard from Ambrose here. He's a man of God, he's a man of the law, and he's a man of sport. He plays very many sports. He's very sports-centered, sporty. We have heard from Robert there, and for him, he's busy. Now, Tsunami, over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I'm told there's a delay there. I think everyone is now unmuted, but if we can mute. Yeah. So, Mr. Mujira, the next question is to you. If you could kindly tell us who you are and what makes you tick.
Wow, interesting question. I'm actually not far from what my colleagues just said, and I'm equally a love of the Lord.
We have 3 loves.
Sport, there's another one I won't mention, but largely the 3 loves. So it's the law, good, and sport. So many people actually get surprised when they hear or get to know that I'm actually one of those cell hosts at home.
Mm.
And for those that pray at Watoto, you know what cell hosting is. It's really
Yes.
about having your neighborhood colleagues come together and pray in the household. So I happen to be one of the people that hosts, and I think they missed me today, but I sent someone to open for them, so I'm here, and I'm there in spirit.
Mm.
So, and I think also if it were not for God, I don't know where I would be. When people hear tsunami, they look at destruction. That's what comes to it. But behind that name is a gentleman of sorts. You take it or leave it. And then when it gets to the law, yes, I've been practicing. I think I'm in my 7th year now. And I've been at, I think, one law firm. I've been very lucky that immediately after LDC, I enrolled and I was employed by my current bosses. It's been a very, if I can define it, to be a very beautiful journey, something that I look forward to every morning. I am a practicing litigator, so my experience is with litigation. So Tsunami finally gets somewhere to fit in. You want to argue, you want to fight, Tsunami comes in handy. So, but I'm a lover of sports. And the third thing, and not far off from my colleague. From, I think, the only thing that tamed me while I grew up was sports. My primary sports.
Otherwise, you were tsunami.
Otherwise, it was Tsunami. In fact, we were mixed. Tsunami and sports.
Mm.
It was a marriage of if there were any suspensions or canes that either I was caught playing outside school hours or during school hours, I probably jumped over the fence for a sports tournament or to go and watch some sports somewhere. So my Tsunami and sports were married, and to date they're still married. Campus, same story. And I remember, I think during our year we hosted the staff. I think they call them inter-university sports, and I think UC one was one of the hosts, and I remember I was one of the committee somewhere. I wasn't far from sports really. Then during my high school, I remember we didn't even have a school pitch, but somehow we got a team and it participated in all those school tournaments. And so the beauty with sports and then the Tsunami and then merged with law, people say Tsunami and the law, it doesn't make sense. When you talk to OBs and OGs, you tell them I'm a lawyer, they will never believe it until they have cases and they have to find me in the courtroom. So that's, I think, a few things about me.
Okay. Thank you very much. For those who have heard, the man hosts cell. For those who know, he's a member of a, what do they call it? A cell-based community church. Celebrating Christ, growing and serving as each one reaches one, touching those around them with the love of Christ, bringing healing to the city and to the nation. As you can see, I'm a guest of a cell. I have not yet I haven't yet reached the point of hosting, but now, James, who are you? What makes you tick? You seem to be an environmentalist, but
yes. So for me, I think there is a reason as to why the four of us are on this side of the table, because there is a lot of points of convergence.
Mhm.
Personally, among the things that make me tick, family and faith. I am a father of 4 children.
4.
Yes,
Mhm.
a senior father. After 3, you become senior, I think.
I think so too.
Yes, and I'm married to a wife, as Council mentioned, a female one. Yes, and I'm also a man of faith. I really take time to worship God. And beyond that, sport is the other thing that drives me. And much as it's from childhood, as many have mentioned, I have a special attachment because of something that happened in 2009. In 2009, the Makerere Law class on government sponsorship had 70 girls and no boys. And as a way of lightening the class, apparently, I came to be told, they said those who had gotten sports merit and were interested in law should be given their first course. So my first choice was law, but I got 21 points. And because I had been playing football, cricket, and rugby at national level, I was given the first choice course even when I was so many points below the mark. So my attachment to sports is really linked to my being in the profession as we speak, because without sports, I wouldn't have even been admitted on private. But thanks to my involvement in sports, I get admitted to do law, and the rest is history. It's been 11 years of practice now. I finished LDC in 2014, enrolled in 2016. I spent a year without enrollment, and I think I'm almost senior enough to also give a shot to the Judicial Service Commission.
Yes. To the High Court.
Exactly. So the other thing is social justice and natural resource governance. Yeah, those things make me feel in everything I do, the work I've done in the last decade for workplaces has revolved around social justice and natural resource governance. And I believe nature is given to us to use for the benefit of humanity. And that responsibility or that gift of nature should be enjoyed equitably. So as a lawyer in practice and also in the different places I've worked, I push for equity in the management and enjoyment of natural resources, because I feel it's unfair that some people get to have a lion's share. And if it's within my powers to make the cake be spread out equitably, to make someone that would not access justice access it the easy way, I feel good when, after I have gotten someone bail or police bond, and they're looking at me in shock that it has come either at no cost or far less than they were expected to pay, or someone who needs a service that requires legal support, I create an environment. It could be a phone call, it could be direction or guidance, and out of the knowledge that I have as a lawyer, I make life easy for someone. So those three things, family and faith, sports, and social justice and natural resource governance, make me tick.
And for sure, we are here ticking on all cylinders: family, faith, social justice, natural resource governance. So basically, you believe that we are holding the planet in trust for the generations yet unborn.
Yes.
Now I want to go, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Judicial Service Conversations. We are having colleagues from the Lawyers League who are here, and they have told us what makes them tick. All of them are men of faith. So when they go to play football on a Sunday at the Lawyers League, they all pray to God for the other guy to lose. And of course, God answers those who pray by faith. So you can tell those whose faith is wanting, the ones who won the league, the ones who were relegated in the beginning. We shall come to all of that. But James, I want to start with you. And our profession is, I mean, you've talked about you get someone bail, you do all this stuff. Our profession is generally associated with pressure, with long work hours. I mean, you have a case, you're litigating, and anyone who has ever gone to court. You know, when you go to court, someone, I always see people commenting and saying, that lawyer is not serious. He would have asked this, and you're like, my friend. It is that saying in our local languages that if you are not the one who is wrestling, you tell the fellow, throw the man and we go. So the profession has pressure. Because there's so much pressure, we work for very long hours. We're emotionally exhausted. I mean, if you have a client who has been unjustly treated, that injustice in the end does reflect on you. So I'll ask you about mental health. How serious is the mental health and wellness challenge within the legal fraternity today? And I'm asking this because lawyers as advocates take up the causes of their clients. You find someone has been unfairly incarcerated, someone's property has been unfairly taken, someone's accounts have been unfairly frozen, someone's business, and then you find lawyers are the ones who are standing up for these people and shouting for them and making a case for them. And how serious is the mental health? Does our work really affect us, and how serious is the mental health and wellness crisis amongst us?
Thank you for that.
And also among generally the public.
Yes. The discussion around mental health here in Uganda, especially over the last 3 years, has been well documented, both in research and also media, where the Ministry of Health is quoted to have officially said of every 4 Ugandans, one of them has mental health issues. And since we are 8 here, I don't know who the 2 are. But the ministry acknowledges that of every 4 Ugandans, one of us has a mental health problem. And I think the problem is even worse in the legal profession, because the profession is set up in a structure that sets one up to become mentally stressed from the word go. The gatekeeping in terms of requirements to join the profession raise the stakes so high, even before one starts practicing, they are already on the edge in terms of the requirements for joining the profession. You require high academic performance, you require more resources in terms of material needed to study, and then society places you on a pedestal with expectations. So even before you do what is on your desk, society has already placed you in a place where you are already competing against yourself. You have to meet the expectations, and that pressure alone starts making some people break when they delay to get a job. For example, after qualification, everyone expects a lawyer to be somewhere in society, and 6 months after LDC and you don't have a good placement, many of them end up settling for places that are underpaying them, and that becomes a stress driver. You're expected to show up in a suit looking sleek, yet you're being paid money that cannot even keep you in a well-kept t-shirt. And that alone puts a lot of stress on you. Then the workload. Law firms have billable hours. Private agencies have a lot of advisory. And many people, especially in the legal profession, underestimate how the workload of lawyers doing in-house practice. But you find at an institution, for example, NEMA, where I work, all other departments are looking at the 12 lawyers for advisory services. So everyone is always being reached out to. Sometimes I have to close my door when I'm inside, but I need to attend to some business that requires my attention, and I don't want people to walk in. So all that makes you lag behind on your targets, on expectations, and soon you get depressed. And because of the long hours of work, you don't have time to cool off. Many lawyers have a very poor social life. It's office, home, or office, church, home, office, bar, home.
Or sell.
Exactly. And some of us tend to think we have a life because we
Or the
have
farm,
sale
or the farm.
or the farm, but that time should be free time like others have, but we use it constructively, because at the farm you're busy working, hosting sale you're feeding them with the word, but also with some bread. So you're still working, and what you call passive eventually becomes as stressing as the work itself. So an ordinary lawyer is really doing badly in terms of mental health, and
He's a candidate for madness.
exactly. And they have said some studies show that over 20% of lawyers are linked to alcohol abuse, because after a long working day, you reach home and take a beer or a whiskey as you watch and get tired into bed and wake up tomorrow very early. Others are going as far as abusing drugs and substance because they still have to perform after the previous day of hard labor. And there's a South African actually who was quoted, and the meme has been making rounds, who said, you literally need a day between 2 days for you to rest and recover so that you're ready for the following day. But that doesn't happen. You're working back to back. So after doing 16 hours, 14 hours, the following day you put in another 16, 14 hours. If you don't have a structure that creates a window for wellness, a window for leisure, just sitting there and doing nothing like we did this weekend at the Lawyers League when we were watching the Arsenal game, when we are playing and it's all about shouting and running, your brain never gets time to reboot. And 5 years in, 10 years in, your performance slows down. People start expressing concern. You're having lapse in judgment. You're having typos in the documents you're drafting. And after 15 years, you're depressed and disposed of and replaced with a fresher mind. That's why there are younger people coming up with new ideas, taking spaces, but just know for every younger person occupying a space, there is an older one. If they've not made it to a very comfortable place in the workstation, they are pushed aside or made a little more passive for this more vibrant young person. And we are just continuing to recycle, and we have so many of us who are living under the weight of depression, stress, anxiety, and panic attacks for some. So if nothing is done by those who care about the profession, it's good we have Uganda Law Society here, and or maybe for the judiciary, those who are the Judicial Service Commission, to take measures to disrupt this whole work ethic that people come with from law school to the workplace and work like donkeys and forget that there is a life to be lived. So the problem is really, really rampant, and we need to do something. Yeah.
Mute. Okay, thank you so much. We have a rampant mental health crisis in the profession. And I'll stick with you, James, and I'll ask you this. So yeah, we have this rampant mental health crisis. We need to do something, and you guys have done something with the formation of the Lawyers League. So what gap did you identify in the profession and then decided to fill that gap with the league? What was the thinking?
Yes. For the Lawyers League, the story I can attach to is that as part of the class of 2014 at LDC, we started looking for opportunities to be guest teams in other school leagues. So we would play for 2 seasons. We played in the Budo League as a guest team. For
Of course,
some,
of course, you lost to the Budonians.
no. They actually chased us because we were disrupting the status quo. Yes, so
It was Gachali Mamaga for them.
exactly. Then we played in the Antare League as guest teams when they had more. The teams were even, so there was always a team that is not playing. So from time to time we would play those guys. And in about 2017, I think they were at LDC. We would literally go and pick them to verse them on several occasions, and we would beat them. They became the Desert Locusts as we speak, but our team
Because
is
everything was dry. You were just
Everything.
defeating them.
yes, and for us we are called Chiefs, Deja Chiefs Football Club.
What's Deja?
Deja from de facto.
Dejure.
Deja, yes. So we used to look for lawyers to verse, and we would play with them. So when they finished, they joined our team, and we became a bigger number. And they started coming up with ideas. Why don't we form something for lawyers? And that's how, as the number of lawyers who wanted to play in the small spaces we are trying to create grew, we became enough to form teams that can verse each other. So in the first season, we had teams that were created out of the lawyers that were always interested in playing but did not have a space. And
So when was this first season?
the first season was 2019.
End of 2019, starting 2020.
Yes. So the conceptualization and trying to form teams, we started in 2019, and in 2020 we had the first season. And it had a number of teams who were close to
There were 8.
8, yes. And of the 8, about 4 or 5 had previously been in the circles. So we had, I think there was an LDC class that also made the team. But out of the lawyers that had been playing without structure, 5 or 6 teams were formed, and 2 others joined, and the league started. And the young Tads at the time were Desert Locusts, and they took the trophy that season. The following season, we had Enigmas taking the trophy, who were also,
So how many teams do you have now?
right now they're 18. Yeah, right now there are 18 teams. But by the second season, we were about 12.
12, yeah.
And then Enigmas takes it. And the third season, we were 15 or 16, a bigger number. And UMLAS takes the
That's the
trophy.
Uganda Muslim
Uganda
Lawyers
Muslim Lawyers
Association.
Association. By that time, even Uganda Law Society is in. Muslim lawyers have formed their team. And in the fourth season, which was a big deal, and it was
Because they
taken
won.
by Chiefs Football Club. It was big because for the first time we gave
The
out 2
first time you
trophies.
became de jure.
Yeah,
Became de facto champion.
Father,
yes.
we
we became de facto now. Yeah, so we had a new formula, having regular season champion and then playoffs, and have another trophy to award. And both trophies were taken by the same team. So it was a big deal. And now this season, it has expanded to include agencies. We have, on top of the 16 that we had last season, we have URA and the Ministry of Lands. I think the committee that is steering this year has been very, very active and done an excellent job in popularizing the games and building on the foundation that the other 4 committees had done. So we have a bigger and better platform where people come and hang with their families. It's no longer about those who are coming to play. Even part of the 4th season that was happening, where we would have tents, have meals. It's a social gathering. It's not just a football game. And that's why I would implore those who are interested in just showing up to come and have a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday mid-morning chill. You come with your family. It's a family-friendly environment. And then you see lawyers playing, those who are very fit, like Mr. Mujira here, and those of us who have extra weight to carry around. We are all given our 3 minutes of fame, you play and feel good. And the additional social element that has been added this time is entertainment. I think at the opening there was a performance by some artists, and right now after the games we watch football together and have drinks. I think the president the other weekend was promising drinks for those who are performing. So it's more than just the time on the pitch. It's now an opportunity for lawyers to come and shake off the stress and not think about the law books and just focus on their wellness and their being part of a friendly environment. So it has come a long way from it being just a few lawyers that want to play football and want to stress off using sport, to a social event that is now supported fully by Uganda Law Society and some sponsors who I think the members of the organizing committee can shine light on. But what I can say is we've come a long way over the last 5 years, and the bright is very future. Yes.
If you're just joining the Judicial Service conversations, you have heard it. The bright is very future. Ambrose, I'll take it to you. I think we've heard very clearly the history
Yeah.
and how the league developed. Now the league is more than just sport or recreation. How would you describe its broader role in fostering community and emotional well-being among lawyers? And why this is important is we've had guys of us going around losing to Budo, beating in Tare, then being chased. I heard they were chased away in Budo. Then, and as you can hear, James's years are the best years. I didn't say this maybe before. His first year, there was no single boy in Uganda who could qualify for law. So they looked for a footballer so that they could really manage to run with those ladies. Now, as that year went, the year of no boys is also the year that developed for us, that started this business of going to be defeated in Intare. So how has, Ambrose, maybe you can tell us, how would you describe the broader role of the league in handling well-being? Because we just heard that there's a serious crisis of wellness and mental health and wellness. And how does the league help us when people come together in that league? How does it deal with those broader issues?
Okay.
You have to unmute, eh?
Just give me a minute. Okay. Thank you so much, Alison, for that question. I would say the first thing I would want to say in response to that question would be that the league is arguably the biggest equalizer in the profession currently. What I mean by that is that as lawyers or as people, we have very many things that divide us. We have very many lawyers of stratification. Yeah. We have senior lawyers and the junior lawyers.
Yes.
We have people that work in what they call the big law firms and the small law firms. We have people that went to UCU, people that went to Makerere. The league welcomes everyone. So
The league is an equalizer.
it's an equalizer, more or less, amongst lawyers or amongst the people eligible to participate in it. I think that brings a feel-good feeling to the people that partake of it. And it releases certain hormones that would tackle mental health challenges amongst us on an individual basis. The league is also very, very hopeful to us that partake of it in helping us release stress. And that leads into the wellness of us as lawyers. And I'll use me as an example. I come from law school. I'm so excited to join this big law firm. I want to prove a point. I'll get in at 6. I'll leave at 11. I'll leave at...
That's 6 a.m. and 11
6
p.m.
a.m. and 11 p.m. And at some point, of course, the seniors that have been at it will tell you that you're going to burn out but because you're so excited about the opportunity that you've been given, you really want to prove a point. You're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know where I come from. Yeah. And 5 years down the road, you just get a medical challenge. Actually, it wasn't even my medical challenge. It's my father's medical challenge. I take him to hospital. When I take him to hospital, the doctor says very many things, and I start to relate with the challenges my father has, because the doctor allowed me to sit into that session. And that prompts me to have a test of my own, to become a patient to that doctor at that particular time. And the doctor, after conducting tests, is like, I don't know how you're able to still stay in an office and remember cases. The rate at which, said magnesium, cholesterol, and all those things you run the risk, or you have a mind of a 50-year-old in a 30-year-old body. And he said, you have to do something about it. Amongst the things he recommended was sport. At that time, I had even stopped playing football that much. I'd really done away with all that. And for the past 7 to 8 months, I have resumed, and there is a very big difference. The Lawyers League has come in handy. I do boxing, I do running, I do a lot of sports around me, and it has improved. I no longer do the very many hours. I'm not saying to the young lawyers don't do it, because at some point you have to prove your worth, so you might have to do it, but you also need to mind your mental health as a human being. And I will promise you one thing: there has not been any study that suggests that sport, and in this particular instance the league, has a negative impact on your well-being. Yeah. If anything, the contrary is the truth. Yeah.
The league, you've had colleagues, the league doesn't make you run mad. Doesn't have any impact on your mental health. Doesn't cause you any stress. Once you get there, you can have a fantastic time. Now, I am here with my colleagues. I was going to ask all the questions today, but you guys talking about leagues include passing the ball. So you have to make sure that someone else can also kick. Otherwise, I was starting to enjoy this conversation, and I was going to. But I have here Joy and Alfred. Joy I think Joy is a member of the Lawyers League also.
She is.
She is actually a member of the Lawyers League.
Yes.
And she actually plays for the Chiefs.
She does.
Yeah, she plays for the Chiefs. And she's the goalkeeper. But you've never seen her, Alfred, because they always have an open goal. But Joy, as a person who actually you've been at the Lawyers League quite a lot, that's fair to say. So I'll hand over to you, and you can. Joy is one of our hosts on the Judicial Service Conversations, and please take it away.
Thank you, Alison. Alfred is here becoming the doubting, Thomas. He's saying, I've never seen her. I even have, what do they, the jersey? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The Desert Locusts?
Because you're all our guests here, I will not say, I'll say after. I'm a middle person, okay? I support all of you guys. But my brother, Ivan Mshemeza, he was, I think, playing mostly with Tsunami before he moved. So I got to know quite a lot about it before. And then I think I've engaged with you at the ULS like 3 occasions or something like that. I think I'll be more present. We've been promised drinks and parties, and you're doing better, eh? So those are the things. So I'm going to come with a whole team of the ladies, and we support the guys and cheer you. That sounds like, eh? Okay. I bought my way in. Okay. I'm on the table of men, ladies and gentlemen. As you can hear. I may cause stress. I thought I'm bringing in, the little bit of the coloring. The what? The flair. Absolutely. But thank you for listening to tonight's Judicial Service Conversation, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with the Lawyers League. We're having gentlemen talking about football, talking about mental health, talking about why you need to get out there. And I haven't had something for us ladies, but I will not bring it up right now, maybe later. So maybe I should push it to you that as we are talking about this under there, what about us? Because we're also lawyers, the female lawyers, wagwan. But so I want to, I will go to the questions that are coming in from the audience, from our listeners. I'll be asking you shortly, but then before I get to that, so if you have any question out there, please bring it on. But first I want to take this to you, Tsunami, aka Kenneth. We're used to Tsunami. We've talked about, from the time this has started, you've said, I think you've given us the history, how it started, how you were doing, and the impact, after you've spent a whole week, maybe, let's say, in court, like Ellison, and, a whole day, and you're struggling here and there, and then you have office, and you have family, you have generally all this and that. And then you get on the field and there's community. You have the boys, you're laughing, you're chasing the ball, and you're bantering here and there. So for somebody who is hearing about this league for the very, very first time, and they're wondering how do they get in, would you please talk about the eligibility? What is the criteria? If someone wants to join, do they need to, apply somewhere? Do they need to have a practicing certificate? I mean, with a ball for some time, have scored some goals, support Arsenal, Man U, I don't know. Please come in and guide somebody who might be out there and they want to listen tonight. Over to you.
Thank you, Jay, for the question. Previously, I think it was anchored around advocates. By advocates, I mean enrolled lawyers who had practicing certificates. So that was the first or basic minimum qualification. But as time went on, we saw there was a need to include the rest of the freshers, I would want to call them, fresh from LDC, fresh from the university, that don't necessarily have, are not enrolled or have the practice certificates but are lawyers. So we have since amended the regulations or the constitution that binds us to include, to make the minimum qualification a bachelor's. Now that bachelor's can either be from any recognized university in Uganda or any university that is recognized by the Law Council. If you look at, I think, the qualifications are not any different from the Advocates Act, about Section 8 there, about your degree holder of a bachelor's, either a recognized university in Uganda or East Africa, common law country, or any other university that is recognized by Law Council. So we've expanded it. We don't want to have a situation where young lawyers from the university are excluded, or because previously it was anchored just to practicing advocates. So, and as the name is, the Lawyers League, it's strictly for lawyers. The lawyers include practicing advocates, yes, generally. And if you want to apply, membership is strictly through a team. So you must identify a team you want to join in. There's so many teams around here. They mentioned we have 18 teams this season. So you want to, you have the minimum qualification, then you now get a team to join, such that you join as a team, not as an individual. Yes, it's better in teams than yourself, really. Yes.
Just to add, for avoidance of doubt, it's a bachelor's degree in law, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unmute.
Sorry. For avoidance of doubt, the requirement is that of a bachelor's degree in law and not any other bachelor's degree. Yeah? Yeah.
Lawyers being lawyers, for avoidance of doubt. Eh? You get it? Okay, so right now I just want to check on the audience and see what they're saying. Jesse is asking, what practical steps can the Lawyers League take to make mental health support accessible and stigma-free for all members? We repeat it. What practical steps can the Lawyers League take to make mental health support accessible and stigma-free for all members? Ambrose or James, I don't know who wants to take that.
Okay. Thank you for that question. Let me first unmute. Thank you for that question. I think the current members of the executive will have to shine more light about what they are doing. But personally, I believe right now, the way the league is structured is self-sponsorship, where each team collects money and participates. The sponsors we have who are supporting the league are still supporting on a very, very low end, where they meet the expenses that may not carry someone, that may not carry a team. So for the Lawyers League to be able to serve that purpose, we would need more structured either support in terms of funding, so that we can have services. For example, we can have even counseling services, we can have physiotherapy sessions, we can have wellness sessions other than the games, because right now, beyond reaching the pitch at the time of the games and we start playing, and then after the games we have some socializing, we can embed a component of exercising, doing aerobics, so that there is more physical participation than just the matches we are playing against each other. But those would require some funding beyond what members are providing right now. So for it to be able to meet the needs that are being asked by the listener, we would need either as participating teams to pay more, so that we bring in these services of aerobics, wellness, physiotherapy, counseling, or we have sponsors who can meet those things. And I think it's up to the ExCom right now to see if they can partner with some companies, organizations that are offering these, to come and use the time before the games or between games to have some wellness and fitness exercises and aerobics and other engaging activities, as the case is with the corporate league, which I've had the opportunity of participating in with NEMA, where they always have more than just the sport, to have other components. And we can pick a leaf from what these are the corporate league Uganda is doing, to do more than just being on the pitch and scoring goals, but do other activities beyond the football. Thank you. I think Tsunami has something to add.
Yes, maybe just to add on what he said. Actually, the Lawyers League is, first of all, this is has partnered with the ULS, and of course, ULS with the Health and Benevolent Fund are doing that work really. But in addition to ULS and the Benevolent Fund, we have also partnered with some hospitals, and I think one of them is Maristops. Now, Maristops provides those services free of charge, except for those other illnesses where you actually need to spend some money. So and it's just for starters, we are also calling more on partnerships, especially for those that provide those services really. And in future, we are looking at having sessions managed by experts in those specific fields. Yes.
Yeah. Just to add to that, one, first and foremost, that question is very welcome, because I think it comes at a point where we've started having the conversation, even in the lawyers group. The Lawyers League group has approximately 1,000 members, And recently we had an occurrence where one of our members, actually one of our players, was held to be in contempt of court immediately after the Lawyers League. And one of the members raised a question that, is there something we as the league can do to help better the mental health of our players? And you see, that prompted a conversation on our side as the executive, and the conversation is being had. We are now trying to be more intentional to find partners, mental health professionals that will engage with us. But most importantly, very many lawyers acknowledge that they are challenged mentally, and the world or the outside world doesn't appreciate that as much as we do. So if we appreciate it on our end, then I think there is a willingness to sit down and find a solution. And I love it when our membership says, you people are best placed to provide that solution. And I promise we shall provide the solution. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think, Jesse, you've heard they are working on it, and they are reaching out for partnerships to come in and make sure that this is done. Council Aloyo, thank you. He says he's here for some wisdom. We see you. SK, thank you for listening in, and Kagwe Aristi as well. We appreciate you. Then there's a question which I want to push to you, Robert, maybe, and then maybe Ambrose could also chip in, and then I'll come to you, Kenneth. This one says, how can senior lawyers and partners model healthy work-life boundaries for younger colleagues? How can senior lawyers and partners model healthy work-life boundaries for younger colleagues? I don't know who wants to come first. If you're ready, you can come in. Robert, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. How can senior lawyers and partners model healthy work-life boundaries? Is that right?
Work-life boundaries for younger colleagues.
Work-life young lawyers. Yeah, that is a broad question. Thank you for that question. And it really gets down back to the same thing we've been talking about across the board by my colleagues. And many a time, like we said, the young lawyers are more energetic. They are fresh, and they don't have as much, I wouldn't say they don't have as much stress as the senior lawyers, but also realistically, their exposure to the stressful moments is much less, because the senior lawyers are mostly in the thicket of it. Nonetheless, to model a healthy work life comes from the way of mentorship. And mentorship includes, among its other things, supporting the young lawyers in as far as participating in co-curricular activities is concerned. Juxtapose that to exactly the Lawyers League. Let's take, for instance, last year when we were participating in the last year's league at Chitante, a colleague of our team, Uganda Law Society, lost a mother, which was of course very devastating. He got the news on the Sunday that we were playing, and while we were mourning or commiserating with him, one of the senior advocates in the country, Advocate Nicholas Opio, walks around. He identified with us because he's been a leader in the Uganda Law Society, and when he found out what happened, he was so touched that he opted to support without necessarily knowing us. We didn't know much. We knew him, he didn't know us, you can imagine. But that was a gesture that the lawyer who lost the mother sent a message through me, because of course I am the coordinator for the Uganda Law Society soccer team, and therefore I communicate on one occasion or another for them. He sent me a message and said, please help me thank the other senior lawyer who supported me, because he didn't have any reason to. he was passing around, he found something of his stature, he had every right to only maybe say sorry, but he commiserated. What's the point in here? The point is that his gesture of attending the Lawyers League on a Sunday, with the games are always played on a Sunday, a day that, of course, is going to be stolen to what colleagues are talking about rest. You want, after a very long Monday to Friday of court hustles and bustles, a Saturday of maybe functions or drafting submissions for Monday, to rest on Sunday. If you're a family man or lady, you want to stay home with your children and, you know, try to do that homework. But the Lawyers League, after all analysis, was best suited to be played on Sunday. So that means there is an aspect of sacrifice. And the young lawyers, as you asked, you know, they don't have so much on them. So you're asking another young lawyer to, out of pocket, sacrifice another, what, 30,000 shillings? Transport from Mukono to league is being played. That is going to be a little hard. So what the senior lawyers, of the objective of the Lawyers League, but also in light of the fact that it is supposed to be supporting their mental health, one, themselves, but also them, the young lawyers within their purview of supervision, is to continually support the initiatives that are surrounding the young lawyers, including, say, sponsorship. We've had that the Lawyers League is self-sponsoring. Apart from the few partnerships for which Uganda Law Society, of course, is proud to be one of them. We've had Maristops is on board. A few are not coming in, not because they're not aware, but also because the outreach has to be a little more. We need to reach out to the senior lawyers, law firms and smaller law firms. The big firms are called out to support. You can a law firm. On the contrary, not, because it is performing, because the managing partner comes, he supports the players. They're of course younger, he supports the players, and support, we mean the little things like transport. You're coming on a Sunday, the games begin at 10 a.m. The man of God might not have gone to church to pray for provision that day, and yet he has to come and participate. Nowadays, there's a walkover. The Uganda Law Society got a walkover last Sunday for a team appearing out of time. A walkover means you lose the game like you played it and lost. Uganda Law Society is always winning technically. Far from that. Far from that. As we speak, the Uganda Law Society is number 5 on the table. Very proud of the work that we are doing. But the law firm that sponsors one of the clubs is seen as a model. And that is because the senior lawyer in there has outed all doubt and imagined that it can be different. He has supported the lawyers. He has supported the sport. He comes in and, you know, encourages each of us. It doesn't matter the team, actually, because on the ground, it ceases to be a team against another. It is really cohesion. It is social binding and finding a way to support each other regardless. There is a project or a member of ours a goalkeeper who got injured. There's a drive that is ongoing. Yeah, for Kingpins. The keeper, right?
Yes.
Yes, he got injured around a month ago. There has been a drive calling for support, you know, concerted efforts. And you can see the senior lawyers also coming in. It doesn't matter whether you support the team or not. But that aspect is encouraging enough because the aspect of mentorship is easily visible in when a lawyer who is of senior stature comes in to support the Lawyers League. Thank you.
Just a minute. Just give me a minute. So, how can senior lawyers and partners model healthy work-life boundaries for, I would imagine, the junior ones? As I said, I seem to be living this personally. on the one side, as Robert mentioned, mentorship. It's very key. And by mentorship, it's not just taking this person under your wings and training them what the law requires, what is required in certain instances and what not, but to also acknowledge that the human being exists on a whole, and the whole of a human being does not entail the law. So you let a person have the time to attend to other needs. Yeah. For me, the most important thing, and this is not something that happens so much among our seniors, is the starting point is we should respect the employment contracts for the junior people we employ, and some of those contracts are not written, but we know what the law dictates. Yeah. So we need to respect that. It's fine someone volunteering to come and work overtime. It's fine someone volunteering to come and work on a Saturday, or a Sunday, but it should not have ramifications if they do not, because the contracts do not allow for that. So the first thing is let's respect. I know it's hard. It's very hard to stand up to a senior and tell them, please, my contract says Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Yeah, but I think
ask you, what does your contract say about termination?
If you're coming from the point of mentorship and taking someone under your wing, then I think that respect is a bare minimum. Yeah. The other thing is support. Let's support the juniors. They have various needs. I'm quite fortunate to have seniors that support me. There are moments where I feel unwell. Ordinarily, I would continue, but I'm like, I'm not going to take chances. Please allow me go and seek medical attention. And they let you do that. Yeah? For me, there is a certain value I attach to such support. Yeah? And it makes me feel good about my workplace. It improves my productivity. When I come, I'm locked in. I'm like, let me come and work, because I know if I'm not well, this person will understand and let me have a time off. Yeah. The other thing is guide, because let's face it, the legal profession has not just started now. They are seniors because they've been through what we've been through. So they know the challenges that we are going through. Yeah. And I promise you one thing, they all know what I should do. But because sometimes capitalism and certain pressures on their side, they will insist on me doing what they very well know that is not what I should be doing. But at the end of the day, if you're taking someone under your wing and mentoring them, you should be able to guide them and tell them, okay, today I want you to do this, but next time, please, you can take this time off, or you please take this route. Yeah, something like that. I think that way we build a working relationship where I'm in a mentally stable position and able to support your business better.
Thank you for that. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to ask you this, and maybe we'll take it in like 2 minutes, and then I'll hand over to Alfred. Would like to know in what ways initiatives like this, like the Lawyers League, help bridge generational, institutional, and even personal divides in the in our community, the legal community. By generations, we've been talking about, there are seniors, and then there's a middle bar, and then there's the young lawyers, and then we also have the institutions. Some of them are coming on board to support you and all that. So in what ways can such initiatives like one you've started up help bridge this gap that the seniors are not as far out of reach and out of, if a young lawyer would like to ask something from a senior, can they access them? Because we need that. Otherwise, we are losing the young lawyers because there's no guidance. The voice of the senior seems to be somehow silent or not heard. Over to you.
Thank you. Maybe we forgot to mention what our motto is as a league. It's anchored on 3 words: one league, one bar, one spirit. One league, one bar, one spirit. And if you look,
So the bar has nothing to do with the,
No, yes.
with the other bar.
It has
And the
nothing to do-
spirit has nothing to do with the other spirits. You fused them. So you have one bar where they take the spirits from the league, okay?
That's something that breweries would want to take a hold of.
Now, I'm seeing Uganda Breweries is listening to you in big numbers, is what I'm seeing here.
Let's get them on board, especially for those last two lines. One bar, one spirit.
Yeah. So those three words speak to, first of all, unity, and then continuity.
And drunkenness.
Drinking is the lighter version after the games. So, and what we have done to have that, and what we are doing is to increase what we all call networking. And with the networking, we are looking at also participation of the members, and not just the members. We are including corporations, you're including government agencies, you are including these private corporations. And I think a colleague earlier stated that this season we're having URA, UPDF, Ministry of Lands, and even as we started, actually, more corporations were bent on joining. Some corporations such as UTB reached out to see whether they can actually get involved. There was also some financial, institutions that wanted to involve, but we had commenced. So, and participation of these corporations, sort of, and I think also maybe just to mention one more team that was participating last season, which is the Judicial Service Commission. It was unable to participate this season for
the lawyers.
exactly. So, when you look at all those people participating in the league, it increases the pool of networking, and you find the people that ordinarily you find in offices, wearing some gloomy faces, you find them in the human element at the pitch. So they become more approachable than you would find the land registrar on a busy Monday morning. Trying to having some influence on some of the transactions. So because of this increased participation of the different corporation and members, it has become like what he stated, the social events where there is open interaction aside the office element or the employer-employee relationship elements. So we are eager to speak to senior colleagues, eager to speak colleagues in the same ranking, and eager to speak to young lawyers. And this eagerness creates bonds, which bonds have since actually created some opportunities for young lawyers. If I'm not mistaken, some lawyers have gotten employment and opportunities at the pitch, actually. If Elson was to speak out, I'm sure he must have received a few calls from lawyers associated with the Lawyers League, and they're either sourcing for funding or support somewhere. And this confidence has been built on pitch because they have found that these people are not gloomy as we refer them. They have a human element. You can actually speak to them. You can tell them your problems. You can express to them on the human element. So I think that's largely it, really.
Handing over to Alfred, thank you very much for that. I just wanted to recognize that Nicholas, who is also online, was appreciated as a senior for having shown up, and especially that they highlighted he didn't know the young lawyer who was affected or the team, but he just did what was human in that moment. And we also want to appreciate him and also recognize that he's a big part of the judicial service conversation. So handing over to you, Alfred.
Maybe just to add, in addition to just supporting the colleague, I think there's a team he's paying for, because at least that's what we have in the yes. So we're hoping that he will participate in person, but besides the personal participating, he's supporting them financially. So big ups to Nicholas.
Nicholas Nicholas is getting very many flowers.
I have reserved the ones I had for him.
Because as a still,
He has enough for the game.
I should also had is a retired footballer. At least I've seen him play. Yeah, he's a retired footballer.
In 2016, he played with us. We were Uganda Law Society versus Uganda Police.
Yeah.
He was a goalkeeper. He's a very, very good goalkeeper.
He was a goalkeeper for the police.
No, for, for Uganda Law Society. And he's good. Yeah. No, we won. I think we won first half. And then in the second half, they brought people from Police Football Club, and they beat us. Yes, but we had played well.
But
the
how
first
was
half.
the goalkeeper when the guys came in the second half? How many did the goalkeeper
The
let in?
goalkeeper couldn't hold after in the second half. But at least when we were playing, I think, including the late rest in peace, Fande Kawes was one of them. They had a team of those who are in offices. We beat them in the first half, and then they brought the
My
fit
real guys.
and Nicholas couldn't hold. Yes.
Yeah. He seems to disagree that he was holding fort until that moment. But
He claimed he was substituted.
well, if you're just joining us, we are talking the Lawyers League everything. We're having amazing young lawyers here. We're live on YouTube, on Subs Conversationist page, live on TikTok, and even live on Twitter. And we have information on Lawyers League and everything with lawyers and playing football. They're about to tell us which teams they support, but that will be, I hope no one supports Arsenal here. You don't want your noise from me. But maybe just to speak to Kenneth, you know, the league is growing from 2020, now these are 6 years, teams from 4 teams to now 18 teams. I'm sure by next year we should consider having the young lawyer series also having a team. Not the women's league, the women also play football in that league. At least I know. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, if you allowed me, I would expound on that.
You can just use this save time.
Okay. So, how we organize or how we set up in the Lawyers League is that we play it on a basis of a 9-a-side. By that we mean 9-a-side, 9 per team, players on pitch at any given point in time. But of those, only 8 can be men. So the 9th person has to be a lady. So if a team has no lady, they play with 8 players. I am happy to report that 70% of the teams are fully constituted. That means they all have ladies on the side. But also, we have very many female supporters of the league. And if you set foot at the league premises, you would see more women than the men around, most especially in the stands. But we always have at least a lady on pitch per team at any given point. We really don't mind that. We really don't mind that. The challenge is that not very many women are amenable to partaking. But if they really did come, we would not close them out. Please, you're welcome.
And maybe just to add on what he said,
But Joe, we didn't hear you. But please add.
the ladies that are actually participating are actually doing better than some men. If you look at the team of the week that was released, we have a lady and happens to be on the Desert Locust, 2 ladies. And one of them, I think, had 3 goals and 3 assists. And some of us who don't have those stats.
Tsunami has 0
Was
goals
the
and 0
goalkeeper
assists.
Nicholas?
I think I said this when I was off mic. I was saying that it's very good. They are saying, because you see that at this table, 2, 4, how many gentlemen, right? I'm the lady in here. So I was advocating that it's good. If you say a team has 8 gentlemen and 1 lady, can we also have where there is 8 ladies and 1 gentleman, and then that will be balanced. And then we have more men supporting on the outside, let's have that balance. And I said, you said, okay, we don't have that many women coming up. And I said, okay, I'll bring my own ladies. But that was a joke. Over to you, Alfred.
You see, Joy, at this rate you became a bro. You are no longer leader on this team. But yeah, talking of the lawyers, let's go back because we are running short of Tsunami, the league is growing. So we just want to find out what's the long-term vision of the league. the mission and the future which you hope to achieve for the legal profession in Uganda, because we see it growing, encompassing even to lawyers who are just finishing their bachelors. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. We have three things that we are focusing on as a league. One, we are looking at, as earlier stated, bridging the gap between the young lawyers, the members of profession, those in government agencies, and also government corporations. And that's why this season there is increasingly participation of those government agencies, and we are looking to have even more participation. Then the other is, and the most important is the health living, fitness, and yes, we are looking at having fitness programs, fitness hubs, and partnership with service providers that provide those services. And then the third and final element, and which is also the biggest component, is fostering unity in the membership. Aside these ULS clusters, senior, young, pro R&B, pro, the league, as is stated, is the equalizer, where we get to unify and have all those other expressions on the side. So I think with those three, we are really destined for continuity, other than having a lapse in the middle of the future. Yes.
Well, thank you for that.
Can I add something small?
Okay, you can.
Okay. In addition to what Tsunami has stated, one, we're dreaming big because we think we can actually go as big as imagination can take us. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah. So, one, we want to have the biggest Sunday league in this country. As a matter of fact, we want it to be that every Sunday when a lawyer is thinking of where to be, the Lawyers League is the place to be. So that takes a lot on our side, because we have to create the ambience where people actually consider us for their Sunday plot. We are trying to devise means of doing that. If you have been a part of us from the get-go, you would see the small steps we are trying to make. Recently, and in addition to that, recently when we were having a conversation with the leadership of the ULS, and we were discussing matters to do with the sponsorship, the partnership with the ULS and the league, they brought about an idea which I think we finally bought into. We want to also have our own home. I know that takes a lot. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot insofar as commitment is concerned, time and whatnot. But I mean, if we can't dream big, we might as well go home and don't do it at the end of the day. So we are trying to dream as big as we can, and with the hope of our membership, I think we shall achieve most of these things. But when you're considering what to do on Sunday, Ellison and my friends, please consider us. We won't disappoint you.
I've been there quite a few times actually.
Yeah. And I think if you came this season, you'll enjoy it more, because it's much, much more different. I promise. Yeah.
There's even a lady who sells juice from London. Everything. We are leaving no stone unturned.
I think you need to repeat that advert for the league, because
yes.
there are so many guys on who have not heard you. Maybe you just need to. There's a lady who does what?
There is a lady who sells juice at Lawyers League, including juice from Londo, and we all know the health benefits that come with it.
No, we actually don't.
I would have to invoice her if I gave the detail, but just know there is a lot happening. As Ambrose and Mr. Mujere have mentioned, the dream of where we want to be, both at the league level they've shared, but even at club level, for us as chiefs, if the league is slow in acquiring a home, maybe in 2 or 3 seasons they may be playing from our home, because we started the conversation about 2 years ago. We've incorporated, the club is registered as a company. We have a circle, we have some social and financial safety arrangements. And the goal is to have a home where we play our own games, and who knows, we could sometime be the hosts as the league looks for a sponsor to buy them also a home. So there is a lot that the organization is doing as the EXCOM, but even teams, we know, for example, UMLAS has much more organization beyond their participation in the league. They have their own either midweek and other engagements. We know, I know Desert Locust have some things you do. So beyond what is being done collectively as a league, even these teams are growing to become something bigger. For us as Chiefs, we are now in about maybe like the third or fourth generation of players, where the ones that were playing are now just sending money because
the former goalkeepers.
Yes. Are financing, some of us are coaching, and we have younger tads who are now doing the playing. So this means there is a lawyer who graduated in 2013 and another one in 2025, but they are all in the same family because of this game. So there is a lot, and I think the options, the future, the possibilities are so many, as Ambrose has put it.
Well, you have just heard it from me first. The lawyers. You have heard it from me. The lawyers league has locked in, and before we know it, they will be having a permanent home.
Yeah.
So we now have Sunday plot, like how we have Shadia as a Sunday plot. We may have now the lawyers league as a Sunday plot, and you are going to invite for that Karango for them Londo. Now you see. One thing with the lawyers is now the human side of the league, of the lawyers, which it brings about. And when you are getting to know who you are in person, this one was a man of all trades, the other one is a father. Actually, Muhindo has been inspiring me for quite a long time. You know, but I've not delivered this one, but I will deliver soon. Because you see, when those days when Facebook was just straight, but they are not delivering. You know, those
look a failure.
You know those times when Facebook was still trending, I used to follow from the trends Muhinda and the wife, another child is in. I'm like, I should have a love life like this. So I'm getting there now. Even I thought it was Muhinda, now Robert has also added on it. So this question will go to Robert now, because I believe the legal profession has historically undermined the human side of lawyers, but now the league is trying to bring it out. I maybe to pose to Robert, do you believe the same thing? And if it is so, how is the law trying to begin to change to get the human side of people, and also the lawyers league as it is generally? Thank you.
Thank you so much. How the Lawyers League is, again?
Getting the human side of the lawyers.
Getting the human side of the lawyers. As we said before, a justice system cannot necessarily be efficient or accessible or trusted if people running it are mentally exhausted. We have given a background to it, or maybe disconnected from the courts of law and still think they can operate an access to justice-based kind of arrangement, because justice really is about beyond the statutes, beyond the pleadings, beyond the courtrooms. Access to justice is really about human dignity. Who is the Robert behind court? You've spoken about Chadi. On a working day, when we meet as a Rotary Club, which is on Thursdays at 6 p.m., I always go there in suits. But on a day that Buffaloes is playing on Saturday, I'm in my, I'm dressed down. I'm wearing shorts and
the stuff.
Yeah, and on a Saturday or Sunday when I'm in Kapchorwa planting sunflower, I'm in gumboots. Yeah, I know it is what it is. And the future of practice, our senior here, Ellison, can tell us, is really running away from courts of law. we as Ellison will still tell us, he has been a part of some of the runs we have been doing in courts of law, which are, of course, left for court. We've been doing mediation, arbitration, and we always look to the senior lawyers to come and sit in, if not as an arbitrator or a mediator, at least a neutral party. And we're trying to speak into the law not necessarily being practiced in the courts of law, because the courts of law, like James earlier on said, have also seen to stress us judicial service conversations as forever spoken into the case backlog. There is no way that a member of the public who is following us right now, like Jesse, and has heard that there is how many thousands of cases in backlog, is going to easily run to a lawyer to ask to go to court. He will first and foremost, because the judiciary has also been marketing arbitration and mediation, which the same is being done by the Uganda Law Society. He will opt for mediation. And that is how we want the law to be seen, not necessarily having to go to court. There is going to be costs and remedies that are in favor of the winning party. But imagine that your matter, instead of taking 5 years, today I was studying a matter that was first launched in 2018, and tomorrow the defense is opening its case, 2026.
That's a civil matter.
A civil matter. It's just crazy. And you can imagine what that member of society imagines about lawyers. Sometimes they also say that the lawyers are the ones who keep delaying the cases, But that is not necessarily the point. How can we make a person appreciate law beyond the lawyer? There is a human being behind the lawyer, and it's important that these interactions like the Lawyers League, which we have always said we're going to open up to the public eventually, they should come and actually find that their lawyers are human beings. There is a rugby player, Magomo Ivan, who plays in the Lawyers League. But again, on the Saturdays he's a Pirates, I am a Buffalo. We're meeting again and trying to lock horns as Pirates and Buffaloes. And Monday to Friday we are lawyers going to court.
So if you don't injure yourselves in football, you'll injure yourselves in rugby.
It's a do or die. Yeah.
Or in court.
Or in court.
Maybe you probably leave that. Also, with the ULS, since you are speaking from ULS as well.
Yes.
Are there any partnership between ULS, the memorandum which was signed with ULS and the Lawyers League?
Oh yes. Oh yes. The Uganda Law Society, with its mandate that is enshrined in the Uganda Law Society Act, which this year makes 70 years, is mandated to ensure the well-being of the members. And the way the Uganda Law Society operates, amongst others, is through subscriptions of members, which means lawyers, after that hustle and bustle of the day, Monday to Friday, has to still make payments to the Uganda Law Society in order to acquire a license, a practicing license. So the Uganda Law Society is a human behind the society, especially with the stewardship of the Radical New Bar Governing Council and the one and only, one of the wisest lawyers I've come across in this life. We must give him the flowers. Isaac K. Semakade, Senior Counsel. Thank you. He's the baddest around. And we imagined we should give back to the lawyers. We are not only going to take, I'm not necessarily the person, but the Uganda Law Society is not necessarily just going to take the money from the lawyer and use it for a practicing license. So we asked questions into how can we give back to the lawyers? Not necessarily the society, but the lawyers themselves. And we are in the habit of establishing partnerships. We, as the background has been given, the Lawyers League comes into play, and lo and behold, it is really for lawyers, like the restrictions have been given. Over 7,000 lawyers, young, middle, and old, or senior lawyers. And we thought, yes, this is the best avenue to bring lawyers together, apart from other ventures. And the Uganda Law Society has, like I said, been in partnerships with different organizations. We imagined, by way of coming together and reducing these partnerships in writing, it gives more life to to the sport, as well as to the members to see value for money. So the ULS has established an MOU with the Lawyers League, and therein is so much embedded to include prioritization of the activities that the Lawyers League is able to participate in. And one of them core is soccer. But like we've underscored, it's not only going to be soccer. Apart from the chilling on a Sunday, these guys will tell you that on Sunday some guys got heartbreaks when Arsenal's victory was recorded. When West Ham was trying to take our goal away, there's some you guys, yeah, we need to bring it to you. But yeah, that was a social chill. It was after the games, after the competition, after the lady got man of the match for that game. We put all that aside and decided to watch a game. And of course, James's the other spirits were also there. They were in play. One bar. Yes, they were there. And we've had all that. The ULS is also in partnership with different organizations. We participate in the Kabaka Run, which happens every April. We go over there and participate with the Buganda Kingdom. We recently got into an engagement with the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers, which is actually now being headed by a lawyer, Peterson. He managed to appreciate the wisdom of Isaac K. Semakade in as far as that interaction and partnerships was concerned, and he approached the society. And that, of course, it goes without saying that we are also running the Benevolent Fund, which we all know has been beneficial to members, and it's also extending away from that. Now, being a Rotarian, the intention is to mix the Cancer Run, which is normally undertaken by the Rotary Club of Uganda, or the Rotary Uganda and Rotary International, to bring the lawyers to participate in, the Cancer Run, which helps to support different aspects of mental well-being. So we are delighted to interact and work with the Lawyers League. They are a very formidable team. They have been very transparent with us. They've approached us. We've had roundtable discussions back and forth of discussing the MOU so that everybody is a winner. And they have had the privilege to interact with us, but also they said, no, we cannot have a Lawyers League sponsored or in partnership with Uganda Law Society without a member representing the Uganda Law Society. And that is how I also get the privilege of sitting on the executive committee. So I'm here with my bosses, who I'm glad to interact with.
Basically, you're an ex-official. You are like the Attorney General on the Uganda Law Society Council.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're joining us, you are late. We are about finalizing in the next 3 minutes. So we want to use these 3 minutes. There are 4, so we should do 1 minute to have closing remarks. But when the closing remarks, I need to have one for the young lawyers. So Ambrose, when you're closing, you'll just give a few tips to the young lawyers entering practice today. What lesson they should take about balancing ambition. You locked in and wanted to be leaving office at 11 p.m. after having come at 6 a.m. About the personal well-being, how you come now, start playing football. Now you're back, relationships. I don't know, but you'll give us some tips and eventually professional growth. As you close, 1 minute, and then we close. Thank you. Mr. Ambrose, we can start with you. You could use this.
Thanks everyone for tuning in on whatever platform. I have had the pleasure of having my phone with me, and the feedback has been well received. Very many people have logged onto the program, and I hope people had things to take away from it. I hope we provided vital information that in some way enlightens or improves the understanding regarding wellness and the Lawyers League on the whole. I was tasked to give a word or two to the young lawyers. it's the hardest thing to be a motivational speaker. But I can promise them one thing: the future might appear bleak, but it's not. Things will finally work out, and life will flow as you want it. You just need a little bit of patience here and there, and things will work out. Yeah.
So now use this word
Wellness was previously a luxury. You'd see people going to gym and you think they have money or they don't have anything to do. But I think now it is a professional obligation on everyone, including the young lawyers. You know, you may think you're still young, you're fit, but certainly there are those with underlying health issues that you don't know about. So until you struck by a certain illness, you won't know that you actually needed the fitness or the mental wellness. So for me, I'm really calling upon everyone, workplaces, government agencies, corporation, to normalize the conversations around mental health in institutions, in workplaces, and include those wellness programs really. For some, especially ones, they may be expensive, but if they get opportunities at those workplaces, it cuts the cost on them. Thank you.
For me, as I part, I think there's someone who asked online something that speaks to what I wanted to use in my parting shot: the stigma around mental health. Yeah, because of the non-existence or limited appreciation of mental illness in the African society, which was always linked to either spiritual problems or madness. We have legacies of those in our current workspace, where someone saying they are depressed is taken to be they are on the path to madness. Yet mental illness is to the brain what cough is to the lungs. And there is medicine. You're not mad, you're just sick. Your lungs are not collapsing, they just have cough. You get something and the cough gets out. You get medication or you get support in terms of wellness, and you get better. So we need to use spaces like the Lawyers League to demystify mental illness, so that a colleague can feel comfortable to say, I'm stressed, the stress I've been feeling has now compounded, I think I need a break, I think I'm getting depressed, I think, where can I go? To freely ask for help without fear of being judged. Otherwise, even with the football and the sports, if it's not well guided, it may just become a temporary measure that helps someone escape their illness, and then they go back to it on Monday morning. But if we can create an environment where people are comfortable to actually seek help, or even ask for time out on grounds that they are having mental stress, then it will become easy even for the workplace to conform and create an environment that allows those who feel it to be helped, as opposed to what we have right now, where you're judged. So let's push back against stigma. Let's use the spaces we have to let people know that mental illness is to the brain what cough is to the lungs. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Wellness is the cornerstone of practice of law, as has been said by the colleagues here. And the future of the legal profession is said in Article 126(2)(e), being an expert should embrace aspects like wellness, community, giving back, empathy, and aspects like human connection. Now, the Lawyers League shows us that when professionals build bonds outside the courts of law, then we are serving the system within which we are supposed to thrive. And that, in hindsight, ensures access to justice to the public, because we shall be as fresh as is required on Monday morning, because I was able to run and sweat and score a goal. I used to play basketball. I used to play in the I was a shooting guard. I used to play in the national, in FUBA, the FUBA League. There's some others. I played cricket. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I played cricket in my senior one. I'm generally a sportsman. My family is sports. My brother has captained Falcons and Warriors in the basketball league. My little brother has played in Chereka United in the big league, that is for soccer. My sister is a participant in the NBS sports discussions. She's a member of the Cobbs Rugby Club. Our family is really sports, so for me, being out of sports does not count. It's the backbone of some of our lives, and perhaps it's the most. It's usually the best of things that help you come back to your senses after court. So, like it has been found, all of us. Yeah. So, for us as Uganda Law Society, we are very, very impressed and happy, and we want to encourage all lawyers from all walks of life to participate in the Lawyers League and make a difference in the society by being fresh-minded and helpful to the community and make the world a better place. I thank you so much.
Okay. We've lost our YouTube audience. We've lost our ex-audience, but we're available on YouTube. Gentlemen, thank you so much. The attempt to, not even the attempt, the lawyer is not a machine for arguments alone. Behind our submission